Today, I want to answer a question that one of you asked during our last stream, which was, what are my thoughts on Taiwan? I actually haven't recorded a video summarizing my thoughts on Taiwan, having spent a long period of time there late last year. Now, obviously, I'm not going to spend this whole video just talking about how great and awesome Taiwan is. I'm also going to talk about the things that I didn't like or the things that I hope can see major improvements in the future. Firstly, for anybody that pays attention to the geopolitical situation around the world, particularly as it pertains to China, I'm sure that if you go to Taiwan, you will also realize that at least unconsciously, you may have just seen Taiwan as this type of chess piece because Taiwan is often reported in that context. And it's not like you're doing it on purpose. I'm sure most people have to go through Western news outlets to understand what's happening in Taiwan or the Taiwan Strait. And it's only when you go to Taiwan that you realize, oh my gosh, this is a beautiful island with lovely people. And they're all just living here doing their lives. There was one evening where I went running around Taipei and I ran into this park where you could run around a track. There was grass in the middle. Next to it, there was a place where you could work out. And behind that, there was a group of old people singing karaoke. Next to them was a basketball court with a bunch of young people playing basketball. And behind them, there was more people singing karaoke. And in that moment, I was just like, what? This place is not just some chess piece between America and China. It's this unique blend of East and West, of Japan, China, America, all amalgamated, stuffed into one incredibly interesting and profound country and profound culture. 那么我知道肯定现在会有一些小粉红抢哦，乐乐，我们中国也有这种场景啊。等一下。If you look, 你仔细地看这个视频, the grass is well taken care of, so you can have your dog there, not worry about him eating cigarette butts or glass. Look up at the sky and you'll realize, wow, their air quality is pretty freaking good. I know some people like to hate on the Taipei or Taiwanese air quality, but as someone that lived in mainland China or Beijing for so long, I think the air quality was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
哦，台湾的空气还行吧。
Keep looking over and you see the basketball court. The basketball court itself doesn't have this like thick layer of disgusting soot that just comes from overwhelming pollution sitting on the court all the time. It literally feels like sometimes you're playing on sliding dirt. Okay, I'm coming from someone that played a lot of basketball in mainland China. The nets are still on the hoops. They haven't been taken away. And there's not a group of really intimidating damas just trying to push and bully you off the court so that they can dance, which you could say I'm criticizing the damas of mainland China, but in reality, I'm criticizing the fact that there's just not a lot of space in mainland China for any type of outdoor activities, basketball or dancing or soccer or whatever. And because of that, the competition for the very limited space they have gets intense, and it puts people against each other. It puts old grannies against young 小伙子们. Now, these are the little details that from just that one moment, you would be able to appreciate if you understand how a legal system, how a democratic system affects these details. If you can think of the links between macroeconomic policy and microeconomic changes. But I think that a lot of little pinkies probably don't have the ability to do that. Let's just go into the next thing I liked about Taiwan, which was the people. If any of you watched my street interviews that I did in Taiwan, which I did a lot of them. I'm really happy doing those videos because I am seeing how fun and curious the Taiwanese people are. I mean, they were just so down to just answer questions, so relaxed. Look at the shoulders, the face. Yeah, all right, yeah, I guess I'll answer this question for you. You know, the lady that I interviewed inside that shop, inside her shop, I mean, in a second, she just made me fall in love with that country and its people.
如果有任何你不想回答的问题，你就可以告诉我。
我要跳过。
你可以说滚。
And you know, I had a really good time working with ICTV or Bilingual. You know, those guys are so professional, yet they just carry themselves in a way that's like, yeah, understanding, fun, open-minded, and I love that. I think that's incredible, and I think that that does speak to growing up in a place like Taiwan, where you just kind of are more accepting of ideas or people that are different from you. And in fact, you might be curious towards those things. And you see it with the language skills. You know, obviously I can speak Chinese, but I think average, at least because it was Taipei, the average person's English ability was much higher than I anticipated. And of course, I'm sure there's tons of foreigners that record videos and they're like, 台湾有多么棒，我告诉你们，我特别爱台湾。没错，我是很爱台湾的。但是要说的更具体的话，我觉得你可以注意到一个很小的细节。In Taiwan, it rains all the time. Okay, at least in Taipei, it rains all the time. And because of that, everyone has an umbrella on them. You have to bring an umbrella wherever you go. and you stick your umbrella in these like little frames to hold your umbrella outside all these buildings, any building that you want to go to, store or hotel. And what you realize is your umbrella, nobody takes it, right? My hotel had the little frame thing that you stick your umbrella in outside its hotel door, and it didn't rain for like a week, which, oh my God. And I just like forgot that I had the umbrella there. And then a week later, it starts raining again. Oh yeah, I need that umbrella. And I look, there it is, still there. Now, sometimes these people may take this for granted, but okay, obviously in China, some dude would take all of these umbrellas and then sell them back to you for a much higher price only when it's raining really hard. Or in America, if you had this in places like Los Angeles, you know, meth heads are gonna come take these umbrellas and then turn them into like living structures. That's all the good stuff. Okay, there's also more good stuff I could go into, but I'm gonna briefly touch on some of the more negative things because I don't want to appear like, actually, I don't even know if there are YouTubers that do this. I'm just assuming that there are. I don't want to appear like the Taiwanese version of like fu la fu, like 我们台湾越来越厉害。Okay, 那台湾也有一些问题。首先，我觉得有另外一个油管博主，我相信你们大部分的人有听说过，他叫西兰。西兰曾经录一个视频，好像是有录过一个视频，去批评台湾的建筑还有它的装修，各个方面。But I didn't actually hear about this. I didn't actually see the video where Xilan did it. What I saw was Taiwanese news was reporting on it. Come on, guys. Like, first of all, Xilan, you know, he's a big YouTuber. He's much bigger than me. But we're still YouTubers. If a YouTuber comes out and criticizes your country, it's going to make national news headlines? That feels kind of odd. And guess what? I think the criticism is valid. Because when I was in Taiwan, I did think that the architecture and a lot of the 装修英文怎么说, the interior design and stuff did feel quite outdated. And if we're going to be honest, it felt pretty ugly. However, I just think that, you know, Taiwan, you are pretty famous. And I think that if a YouTuber comes out and criticizes your architecture or whatever, who cares? Who cares? It's almost like a really handsome, famous celebrity gets upset because someone on Twitter said that his chest muscles aren't big enough. And then this famous person getting on Twitter and be like, hey man, you can't say that about me. It's like, who cares, dude? You're already huge, you're already famous.
你们来打我，其实是报私仇，但是我也接受。
So that's what I would say my first criticism of Taiwan is. And then my second one would be the mask rule is already gone. So my criticism doesn't even really pertain to anything or anybody anymore. But it did feel kind of silly that I could go to the gym, you know, where I'm sweating and working out and breathing really hard next to other people and I didn't need to wear a mask. But as soon as I went outside, I had to put a mask on. The thing is, I'm not a scientist.
Mr. Scientist.
I don't know. It just felt silly. Okay, I just felt silly doing it. But that's really it. You know, I had such a good time there. It was just a really cool and great vibe. And there's a good chance that, you know, in the future, I and my lady can move there. But for reasons that I went into in the recent stream, we gotta wait a little bit. And during that time, I'm gonna be trying really hard to crush it in Los Angeles. And that's next stop, leaving for Los Angeles soon. So if you guys are there, hopefully you can come to some of my stand-up shows. Thanks for watching this, and I'll see you guys next time. 我是乐乐法力，下次再见。Peace.